Hello and welcome to the official launch of the 2025 Concacaf Congress. I'm Terry Finister.
And I'm Elijah Williams. And of course, the Congress is slated for March 15th, 2025, right here in St. Lucia. And we are definitely excited to be hosting this international Congress, Terry.
Well, the eyes of the footballing world, certainly the eyes of the regional footballing fraternity, will be on St. Lucia on the 15th of March. Over 250 delegates expected to be on island for what is going to be an exciting event that's going to help shape the future of the game and really chart where we are as far as the beautiful game is concerned in the Concacaf region.
Yeah, definitely the eyes would be on us. St. Lucia, small island state. It's our first time hosting a delegation of that magnitude, and it augurs well for the country as well because, as you mentioned, over 250 delegates are going to be here, and all eyes definitely are going to be on us, particularly with the footballing development that's going on in St. Lucia currently.
And over the next half hour or so, we will be talking about what has been going on as far as football is concerned in St. Lucia, what the Concacaf Congress means for us here in St. Lucia, and certainly what we can look forward to as far as developments regarding our national teams, our domestic football, and lots more. So as we get into that, we have some illustrious guests who are going to be joining us this morning. We're going to start first of all with the Honourable Minister for Youth Development and Sports, himself a former national footballer, Honourable Kenson Casimir.
Definitely. Looking forward to speaking with him, particularly with the developments that's been going on locally with our football, the Semi-Pro League, inaugural Semi-Pro League just launched just last year, and a lot of things on the horizon as it pertains to sports. We know the Semi-Pro Cricket League is about to come into effect as well, so lots of things coming up on the calendar for the sports minister.
One of the things that the minister has spoken of at great length over the past couple of months is getting the playing facilities in tip-top shape, getting some of our community facilities in particular. The SPFL, as you say, launched last year. Players getting paid for the first time to play football in St. Lucia, very important in terms of keeping them grounded and ensuring that they remain in the game. And then, of course, we want to look at getting the home grounds for each team. So each team, the eventual vision is for us to work towards having every team that is playing in the semi-professional league having its own home that they are going to have their players come to and be able to represent their communities and have the communities come out and support them without, having to endure travel costs and having to. But of course, some teams are going to travel regardless and be great support for their teams, no matter where they play.
I think we have some statements from the minister himself that were made sometime last year on the semi-pro football.
Right, let's go to
that. The Honorable Philip J. Pierre-led administration is making a life-changing investment in the local football community. For the first time, aspiring footballers are getting paid to play the beautiful game.
What's happening this morning is good news. Very good news. And I feel proud in that in my first budget address, I allocated $1 million towards the semi-professional football league in my first budget address.
Prime Minister Pierre's leadership has inspired the introduction of the historic semi-professional football league in St. Lucia. Our nation's youth and aspiring footballers will gain access to new opportunities to develop their skills and talents and get a legitimate shot at going pro.
We are here today to historically and symbolically provide finances, compensation, payment to footballers in this great nation. This is what we are here to do today, and I think the affiliates, the coaches, and I think every member must acknowledge that this government has done the unprecedented step, taken the unprecedented step of seeing that our footballers, because of the effort and commitment, deserve compensation on a monthly basis. I think that is.
The government is investing more than $1 million to support the Semi-Pro Football League. The Semi-Pro Football League season spans 7 months. each Tier 1 team can earn up to $13,190 monthly during the season. St. Lucia's first semi-professional football league will strengthen the local economy by creating new business linkages and employment opportunities in coaching, team management, media and broadcasting, and playing field maintenance.
It is said, and listen carefully, the professionalization of football brings structure, discipline, and a pathway for aspiring players to reach their full potential.
The Semi-Professional Football League was officially launched in January. Semi-Pro Football League matches kicked off in March, and the payment of salaries and training allowances to players commenced in May. The Semi-Professional Football League is a collaboration between the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports and the St. Lucia Football Association.
Well, certainly, exciting times for St. Lucia football, exciting times for domestic football, unprecedented achievements as far as football is concerned. We are pleased to welcome, as we said, the Honourable Minister.
Absolute pleasure being here. I think this is a momentous occasion for St. Lucia as we continue our development thrust in all sports on island. I'm very, very proud of the work of the St. Lucia Football Association, the administrators on island, and of course the footballers.
Makes you wish you had stuck with football, maybe?
I think we had been a different time. Had we known that there would be player compensation at some point on this island, I probably would have stuck to it. It would have been a LeBron James playing at that time.
There you go.
Still playing football. But I think we've done the necessary research as a government. Of course, my permanent secretary and the team have done the analysis of what needs to be done in terms of a cradle-to-the-grave approach to sports development, especially when it comes to football, a pyramid approach. At the base of the pyramid, we've, of course, had conversation and the blessing and the implementation of the St. Lucia Football Association under Lyndon Cooper and bringing on Coach Stuart Charles Favre and the likes of Earl Ballhogshaw to really have an elite development program at the under 15 level. And of course, you have the schools competitions bringing in those individuals, and all the way to the top of the pyramid where we now have a semi-professional football league where our players can actually get compensated at the end of the month for their work that they've put in terms of developing football and themselves. So very proud.
So we're going to zoom back in a minute, but zooming out and taking sort of a macro view. The Concacaf Congress coming to St. Lucia for the first time. How important is it that St. Lucia was selected in the first place and that St. Lucia is going to be hosting an event of this nature, of this magnitude?
Well, it signifies this government's position to be able to, position itself for a company, a global company, semi-global company like Concacaf, to identify St. Lucia as having all the necessary dynamics to be able to host the Congress. It really signifies the work that we've put in terms of the logistics of our sports development, fortifying the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, having the capacity to, partner with the St. Lucia Football Association, and of course, as an economy, one of the biggest economies in the OACS and the fastest developing economies in the entire sub-region. And so having the delegates over in St. Lucia is a no-brainer. We have the sea and sand that we certainly hope that they get some time to enjoy, and the economy of St. Lucia in terms of the nightlife and some of the other activities other than just football.
We're making sure we have them over a Friday night.
Absolutely.
Yes?
They need to visit
That's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. I'm certainly hoping to ensure that my vendors are well prepared to accommodate those who are coming from the Concacaf region. But in all honesty, Terry, I think we as a government, we've really placed ourselves in the position that we've earned the respect of the OACS, the Caribbean, and of course the entire world. And at the Concacaf level, St. Lucia being identified and St. Lucia being able to actually host them really signifies the progress we've made in sports development in this nation.
Just encapsulate for me your view of or your vision of government's role as far as football development is concerned.
Absolutely, and I think I touched on that early. I think when you develop in a small island, you have to be strategic. You have to be working smart and not necessarily just hard. And when I came in as a minister, we strategized exactly how we were going to develop the young individuals, how we are going to then select the best from a particular age group and put them in a program with like-minded young individuals. And of course, we identified with Mr. Lyndon Cooper, two absolute legends in sports development as it pertains to football in St. Lucia. One of the best coaches St. Lucia has ever produced, Stuart Charles Favre, and one of the best footballers, now coach, that we actually have on island, Earl Ball-Hugger, to really take up the mantle of bringing in from all corners in St. Lucia the best footballers at the under 15 level. So we start the maturation from our school sports competitions, the scouting, bring them in under a program, start the discussions on nutrition and what it takes to become a semi-professional. And now we can see that through their maturation, they could then get into the top of the pyramid, the elite aspect of the pyramid, where they are semi-professional footballers ready to be exported to the rest of the world. And so that is the vision, that is the strategy, that is how we know that football development should have been for a number of years now. And I'm honored to be the minister who, as you said earlier in your introduction, who went through the system as a national under 17 footballer to know what were some of the things that were lacking in terms of the transition of our footballers when they leave secondary school, and how do we keep them engaged so that they can become world-class footballers and really put St. Lucia on the map in that sport.
Mr. Minister, just to your point, we saw the inaugural season of the Semi-Pro League last year. The vast majority, and I dare say the standout players in the league, were all under the age of 21. You know, so integrating youth from the various developmental programs into a semi-professional setup. So in terms of the league, are we going to see an expansion of that coming soon enough? I know we only had remuneration for Tier 1 and Tier 2. The hopes was that going forward that we could get into a remuneration system for Tier 2 as well. What are the plans?
Well, we're definitely looking to ensure that we can get compensation for both tiers. We do not have anything final at this moment, but it's something that we are definitely considering. The government of St. Lucia has been really focused on the other dynamics of ensuring that we have a proper functioning league, and that would be one of the kinks that we had is the availability of facilities. And so we've seen a lot of work being implemented by this government at the Philip Maslake grounds, for instance, in terms of the lighting, in terms of the stands, View Fort proving that they continue to be an elite football setup.
Your constituency.
No, I'm not going to ever. So we have the View Fort grounds being available for semi-pro football this year, and of course the Grosley mini stadium that we are going to be having an opening ceremony for very early, well, as soon as possible, and the likes of the Leclerc playing field development work in terms of providing some stands, proper lighting for the champions. I think they've earned this investment.
They've won it all. They've won everything there was to win.
And their minister is bothering, so I have to ensure.
Well, he's also in a position to do infrastructure work.
Exactly. So we definitely looking to ensure that that the Leclerc playing field is available for this year's Semi-Pro League. And Central Castries, they've done very, very well over the last couple of years. As a matter of fact, the actual development thrust of football in Central Castries has been one that we believe that many other organizations and associations should emulate. And so we'll be seeing very soon the commencement of the lighting at the VG Sports, the SAB playing facility. And so we're very excited about that. We're very excited about the investment we continue to make into the most popular sport being played in St. Lucia. And I'm very excited that, Concacaf will get an opportunity to actually visit some of our facilities and perhaps let us know how they can chip in to ensure our development continues in the right direction.
We talk about compensation of players, and that's fantastic. But the semi-pro, for example, does not only offer economic opportunities for players. There's an economic spill-off into the various communities as well.
Absolutely. I think what we've seen at the Dennery playing field, they enjoyed, a lot of the vendors enjoyed what was going on there in terms of the festivities and having the opportunities to vend and sell, even in terms of the barbershops and the hairdressers, the nail techs, really indicating that semi-pro football has really brought in an expansive amount of economic activities to the different communities. And not just that, we've partnered with the NSDC to give these footballers the opportunity to earn some form of education, some certification, some CVQ certification that is beyond just playing football on the field. We were able to secure some financing. So if they wanted to get into massage therapy, perhaps bartending, perhaps even some of the other activities that they could, some of them didn't do too well at CXC. This semi-pro league has given them another opportunity to gain additional income. So we're very excited about the work we've been doing, and we certainly hope to continue.
Just talk to us about, once again, the excitement that you have for being able to welcome Concacaf to Saint Lucia.
Absolutely. I just think that when you look at the Concacaf region, we are not talking about just, as we would see in our local palace, some of the small fries. We're looking at the World Cup sort of played nations pretty much descending into St. Lucia, a small island with a lot of beauty to explore, and a lot of the logistics actually developed, and that ensures that they can have a very good conference. So as a Minister of Youth Development and Sport, I'm not sure that we've had a conference of Concacaf, the Congress in St. Lucia in times past, but for us to be able to host it this year, I think we're very excited about it. We look forward to seeing them, and we look forward to being their hosts.
Anything else, sir?
I think I want to say congratulations to Mr. Lyndon Cooper and his team for the stellar work that has been ongoing in football over the last few years. Of course, as a small island developing state, there are a number of things that we can hone in on. We have some, not perfect by any means, but I certainly look forward to the continued partnership as a government with the Saint Lucia Football Association to continue to develop our facilities, our football programs. And I think so far, after just 1 year of semi-pro, I think it really was a pilot year, and we know that we have a lot to work on and develop, and I'm very confident that very soon St. Lucia will be, if not already, the envy of a lot of other Concacaf playing nations. And so I just want to say congratulations to my team at the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports. We always punch above our weight, a very small ministry. As the Jamaicans would say, we're small, but we talawa, and we've been doing very, very well in terms of developing sports in this country, and we're certainly looking to continue that thrust.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Pleasure always speaking with you. And through Concacaf, we've been able to build the sort of capacity that has enabled us to launch the Semi-Pro Football League. So maybe we can take in some highlights of that, the opening of the Semi-Pro League from last year, so we can, just digest what we've accomplished.
Back, and we're joined now by the Public Relations Manager of the Lucia Tourism Authority, Jareen George. Welcome. Of course, we've had an unprecedented year in St. Lucia sports. First Olympic medals, World Championship titles, St. Lucia Kings winning the CPL for the first time, and of course, SPFL happening, successes otherwise for the national teams. Talk to me about how the Tourism Authority sees sports as being able to galvanize growth, particularly in the tourism sector.
There's a trending comment on social media: if you are not St. Lucian, who are you? I think all of us are embodying this. I'm really showcasing St. Lucia, really highlighting all the achievements of St. Lucia so far, especially in the sports tourism realm. Julian would have done it for us, embodying our tagline, "Let her inspire you." Of course, we saw her story and we saw her journey. She's now our tourism ambassador, so highlighting all the personas: wellness, sports, culinary. We just did a destination shoot with her on Friday. So that should be rolling out very soon. But sports tourism overall, it doesn't just bring the players. It brings the support, it brings the coach, it brings the coaches, it brings the teams. It also brings family. So we're not just looking at it from one point of view, we're looking at it overall and what we can encompass into all of that. But it's also an opportunity now to motivate our locals, our St. Lucians, and to give them that inspiration of what we can become. Because we're seeing what's happening, we're seeing what happened with Julian, we're seeing others, like, for example, Naomi London and what she's doing. You would have Antoine Destang in the sporting realm. So, you have those who are coming up and those that we need to keep our eyes on. I heard you say earlier, small island. We need to stop thinking about ourselves as a small island. We're an island doing big things, you know. So, yes.
Yeah, just to build on your point with Julian, I saw a video last year of Noah Lyle's mom. She came down here,
yes,
and it was as a result of Julian Alfred, you know, coming away with Olympic gold. She wanted to know where St. Lucia was, what is this place all about? How has that been like for the authority? Have you seen a huge jump in terms of interest in St. Lucia, whether it be via your online platforms or actual, you know, people transitioning to people coming into the shores?
Julian has the world celebrating, and within a week of Julian winning gold and silver, we had journalists as far as Asia on island that I had to be feeding information and, you know, helping to populate their stories for that market, which is not really one of our tapped into markets, but we do work within you know, that space. And they were on island excited, inspired by Julian Alfred. We've had others who've come down and said that they've come just because they've been inspired by Julian Alfred. So for us, it was a no-brainer, you know, endorsing her as our tourism ambassador as well. And I think she's leaving her mark. I think she's the joy that keeps on giving. And of course, we're happy and excited to work with her and all of the other teams. We do work very closely, football, cricket. You would see the effects that the Masters Invitational has, the amount of players that it brings in. We do support it heavily, we endorse it. And then, of course, all of the other sports and disciplines.
The Concacaf, for those who don't know, the Confederation of North Central American and Caribbean Football Federations. So we're going to have delegates from 250 delegates from territories across the entire hemisphere. How exciting is that for the Tourism Authority to be able to have that kind of prestigious organization represented in St. Lucia?
That for us speaks volumes as to where we're going, what it is we're embracing, and it truly speaks to the advancement of sports in St. Lucia. What the Ministry of Sports is doing as well, we're amplifying. And so for us, it's collaboration, it's continuing to push the destination, it's really showcasing what the offerings are on St. Lucia as well, even in the sporting realm.
All right, as it pertains to the Congress, I mean, this is us hosting a large gathering. Do you see St. Lucia as that sort of destination, not necessarily just simply for sporting activities on the field, but in terms of, you know, big gatherings like a Congress, heads of government, you know, from a destination standpoint?
I smiled when you were formulating your question, because St. Lucia is the Caribbean's leading corporate retreat destination by Will Mice Awards and Mice being meetings, incentives, conferences, events. So for us, this is another in that realm. We do host large gatherings in St. Lucia. We do host large events. I will not break the news here, but we do have another large gathering coming up on July 1st here in St. Lucia.
It's okay, we won't talk.
So
That's a whisper.
So, you know, it's a no-brainer for us in St. Lucia in terms of hosting these events. We do have the amenities in St. Lucia for that, whether it be at accommodations or whether it be the pavilion on the ramp at Rodney Bay, which is our largest event center in St. Lucia. We can accommodate, and we do have the suppliers, we do have the project managers and the know-how to ensure that these events are being held to the highest capacities.
Minister Dr. Nesile had made some statements concerning, you know, sports tourism in St. Lucia. So we have some footage on that. I think we can just take that in so we can better absorb, you know.
We are building for us to set up again a very, very active, you know, sports tourism calendar. The Ministry of Tourism has done a lot in promoting alternative sports. Over the last few years, many of the facilities around the island have been upgraded. You look at in Dennery North, you have a very, Dennery North, Larry Shaw's playing field can host first-class cricket. That's how good it is in terms of size, facilities, and lights. A lot of the facilities have been upgraded, and that's what we need. Because if we are going to invite schools and other professional teams to come to St. Lucia, we have to be able to offer them the very best. So we are preparing ourselves at the Tourism Authority. We have some big targets in the coming years. Sports tourism is one. Diving is another one. but you will see a greater effort being made to promote. Next couple of years, St. Lucia will become the place to come in the Eastern Caribbean for sports tourism.
St. Lucia well poised to continue its growth in tourism and specifically in sports tourism. The minister earlier spoke, the sports minister spoke earlier about developing a number of facilities around the island. Talk to me about how that plays into your vision and how that dovetails with the vision for sports tourism as far as hosting tournaments, training camps and so on.
I think that would be a brilliant achievement for the destination, because most of our young people leave St. Lucia to go train. For example, we have Kerry Byron, who's doing so well. He's my co-worker's son, actually.
So you're personally invested?
Yeah, personally invested. We cheer him on all the time. So seeing young people leave, and if we're able to provide that ability at home, others can now come in from destinations who are probably less developed or do not have the resources at the time to train in St. Lucia. That contributes to our tourism arrival. And not just tourism arrivals, but the overall economic impact for the destination. And then we're growing our own local sporting disciplines, creating more interest in the sporting realm, because we are seeing what it is doing for St. Lucia and St. Lucians.
Well, thank you so much for coming on with us, and we look forward to a fantastic Concacaf Congress and seeing all of what the Tourism Authority is going to be able to do. We are going to go to a highlight video, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the specifics of the Concacaf Congress. Let's go to the video. Welcome back, and interesting stuff there, certainly, as far as the outlook for sports tourism in St. Lucia. I think, like I said, I think last year, the kind of year that we had in sports with the achievements of our Carifta team, Julian Alfred, the St. Lucia Kings, even even though we didn't necessarily end the year on the highest of notes of the national men's senior team, we beat Curacao, much higher ranked than us, a really significant moment for us. So I think we had some really great stuff happening last year that would have set us up perfectly for an event like this specifically, but more broadly set us up as far as having people talking and thinking about St. Lucia and seeing St. Lucia in a different light and looking at what sports tourism can do for us genuinely.
Terry, I'm excited. I'm excited not just because we are producing world-class athletes in St. Lucia at this point in time, and we're doing it from our grassroots level. We're not just taking 8-year-olds and sending them overseas and then bringing them back and saying St. Lucian. We're developing them from the ground up, right? But with all of the facilities that are coming into play now, the ability for us, as a nation to enhance the level of competition. We see the semi-pro football league in place. We've heard the minister speak about the semi-pro cricket league coming into play. These are the sort of things that I think makes us an attractive venue where you can have a scenario where at some point in time, I want to see an English Premier League team come and have their preseason training camp here.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking. That there's certainly a lot of potential warm weather training. You have all of these teams in Europe, but then you can just envision teams coming. You can think of 2-3 teams coming down and having a preseason tournament here somewhere down the road once you have, but the great delimiter at the moment is the facilities, and once we get those facilities up to speed, anything is possible, everything is on the table. But as far as local development is concerned as well, you have really the template right now with the SPFL on stream, with the facilities being upgraded. You see the wonderful work that's going on at Gosley, the work that's going on in Viewfort, the work that's being envisioned for La Clery, for Central Castries. So there is really all the elements there for us to take off. And with the SPFL getting ready for season 2, I'm really thrilled about what we can look forward to.
Yeah, let's take in some of those highlights on the SPFL, as you just indicated.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terry. I thought you was congratulating me on qualifying for a World Cup.
Well, we hope to be able to congratulate you on that sooner rather than later. When, not if, but when that does happen, that's going to be a triumph, just like the Julian Alfred win, just like the St. Lucia King. That's going to be a triumph for all of St. Lucia. So talk to us a little bit about where we are as far as that journey is concerned. We've seen good performances from the senior women's team. We've seen strong performances from the men's team, falling just short of being qualified for the Gold Cup last year, playing in the Gold Cup qualifiers the year before, and even the under-17s, we've seen some glimmers from them, beating Cayman to close out their World Cup qualifying campaign just last month. Talk to us about where we are as far as you're concerned in terms of our football development.
Well, we basically tell you we're not too far. You have highlighted it well. There have been growth, and you just probably make mention of 2024, 2025, there have been significant growth 2023 to 2022 and 2021. And I think what the SLFA is basically doing is creating interventions. We are not going back to a remodel, just creating intervention, taking a look at what the international playing field is and deciding what interventions to create to get there. But we occupy no doubt that the time is rather closer than further.
Yeah, we're starting to see some developments happening in female football as well. We have a under-14 girls competition underway. We just concluded a senior women's competition not too long ago. Talk from that standpoint as well. Where are we at in terms of the development of the women's game?
We are probably at 35-40% complete. We had to remodel it. It's because we had to ensure that our two main senior national teams are professionalized. And for us to do that, we have to stabilize it and then begin the development first from a much younger age. What is guaranteed is that what we saw last year and year before, it means that we must as a country begin the playing of female much younger than 14 years. And we have already earmarked that it's going to commence as low as 10 years in 2025.
So we can look forward. We've seen over the years, and the FA has been very much part and parcel of ensuring that there's football at the primary school level. We've seen most times girls playing with boys, so one or two talented girls playing alongside the boys. Are we to look forward to seeing girls football as a standalone at the primary level? Because we also have the under-12 boys tournament that's being played right now, the primary schools boys tournament that's being played under the auspices of the FA. Can we look forward to similar developments for girls?
Yeah, 2025 is the commencement of the ensuring that every girl competition is girls inclusively or exclusively or altogether. There will be no addition of any boy into any junior girls competition.
And one of the aspects of that, of course, is the coaching interventions, coaching and management interventions. What is the role, especially with Concacaf support of the FA in terms of ensuring that the clubs, the leagues, the schools are getting the right kind of guidance, the right kind of direction as far as getting their kids ready to play serious competitive football?
I want you to put Concacaf into perspective. Concacaf and the 41 members, including the Saint Lucia Football Association, is like a mother and a daughter. You are not disobedient, they are going to assist you. You'll be cast out. And that's a relationship that Concacaf and Saint Lucia have. For us to be hosting that Congress is an indication that there's a perfect relationship between our mother and our daughter.
As it pertains to the semi-pro, just track back locally. Obviously, the Saint Lucia Football Association hugely instrumental in the launch of the Semi-Pro Football League from a governance standpoint. That is one of the key areas. Also from a capacity building standpoint, you have provided coaching, again through Concacaf, coaching courses, B-licensed coaches all throughout the Semi-Pro League. And what's next for the league? What's the next steps? How do we go on from there?
I do not want you to see the establishment of the semi-pro as something that happened overnight. It is definitely part of a development plan. It's an idea that we hatched maybe 5 or 6 years ago. We just did not have the right time and the right partners to come. And the intention of getting government to assist is to ensure that we professionalize the sport. What we recognize that for us to go to our next World Cup, we have to professionalize it. We have to get players playing at another level. We have to get them playing more games, more competitive. And semi-pro is the first step at that level. So once we have established it, the other area is to ensure that Concacaf assists us in ensuring that we develop the semi-professional league. And that is to create capacity for us, for it to be recognized internationally as a professional league. You must do a number of things. All your coaches must be well qualified. You must have qualified referees on the FIFA list. You must have a number of things. You must have an integrity officer. You must have regulations. And they are assisting us in ensuring that we get to that standard within the next 2 years.
So in that regard, one of the initiatives that has been launched locally is the Train the Trainers program. Talk to me about that.
Well, that's one of the
and we're going to be lining up some video from that shortly.
That's one of the programs that Concacaf have given to us, and it is to ensure that all our coaches have the capacity or the opportunity to get qualified within the 41-member association. And what it does is that Train the Trainers is a program that is going to, once it is completed, it will allow our domestic instructors to teach as far as B and A license within Concacaf. So they'll be qualified within the 41 members to run any B license course within the region.
Just before we go to the highlights, does that now mean that we can also see a scenario where coaches from neighboring islands come to St. Lucia to be trained in terms of their certification?
Yes, anywhere among the 41 members, because the certification is going to give you the right to cross boundaries when it comes to qualification.
All right, let's take in that video of the Train the Trainers workshop held by the SLFA.
Football leaders, coaches and regional trainers gathered for the latest installment of Concacaf's Coaching Education Initiative, a crucial step in ensuring the professional development of St. Lucia's football sector. The program, part of the wider CONCACAF Coaching Convention, aims to standardize coach education across the region, allowing St. Lucia coaching certifications to be recognized throughout CONCACAF's 41 member associations.
The CONCACAF Train the Trainer is one of those programs that we decided many years ago, since 2017, that it would become our flagship program within our technical development unit. Primarily because the vision of our president, Victor Montaliani, is to ensure that we put football first and that we put football in the space that matters and of course provide opportunities and access to the people who serve the game.
The initiative aligns with the vision of the St. Lucia Football Association, SLFA, which remains committed to professionalizing the sport.
Over the last 3 years, FIFA and CONCACAF would have joined and recognized the importance of improving the quality of play. And one of the things that they recognized that was missing is the quality of information in our region. In the past, we had great players who just went through the cracks and were not able to capture their knowledge, what they understood about the game. And we keep going in a cycle where a new player will have to find his or her own way. CONCACAF and FIFA recognize there's a need for us to pass knowledge on. And that's why FIFA introduced what we call the Coach Educator Development Program.
certainly laying a strong foundation for the development of the game locally, and looking forward to seeing the outcomes from that training program and seeing even more qualified coaches coming through, stronger domestic teams, stronger club teams, stronger league teams, and ultimately stronger national teams. But Mr. Cooper, talk to us about the importance to you of having the Congress here, and what is going to mean for the football fraternity from around the region, 41 member territories, being right here in St. Lucia, being hosted by the SLFA.
The fact that Concacaf can have the confidence in us is an indication that there is a lot of relationships that we have built between the two parties, and we think that having to host 250 guests, all of them are VIPs, including FIFA president, is going to be a milestone in the history of the development of football in this country. And we think that the fact that all the parties, including the government, have endorsed it and assisted us significantly is a very, very, very good initiative.
Well, let's see if we can squeeze a little bit more information out of you. You just mentioned that over 250 delegates, all of them are VIPs. We know FIFA, Concacaf, etc. They put a lot of money into hosting these sorts of conferences. Do you have any idea what sort of money that Concacaf has spent in terms of getting all of these delegates in?
I can give you in service, but not actual US dollars. I think all the guests are going to be across 4 or 5 for these. They are going to engage transportation, security, social events, and I think what is going to work for us is that we are going to sell St. Lucia as a sports tourism destination, because they will definitely see all the beauty of St. Lucia.
And all of that is happening at a VIP level. Yeah?
That's correct.
And of course, this really positioning us going forward. Talk to us about what you expect the impact to be on St. Lucia and St. Lucian football and the football community in St. Lucia, as far as being, galvanized and energized.
Once you could have Concacaf to host an event, a congress, for the first time after 40 years, it's an indication that they're going to be a legacy. And the main legacy is going to be that we as a nation and as a football association can do it, because we have all the capable partners. The government can invest in Lucia, tourism ministry, exports, all the partners, the Ministry of Sports, everybody. It's a clear indication that there's nothing that we can host. I even think we can host under 17 World Cup.
Ah, boy. Mr. Cooper casting his hat a little lighter. But thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to a really great Congress on the 15th. And we're looking forward to seeing further developments in St. Lucia football, including Season 2 of SPFL. Thanks for joining us today.
Same here. Appreciate it.
All right, and we're going to go, I think, to our final set of highlights, Eli.
Yeah, we have some highlights on.
Well, Eli, I'm amped. I'm ready to go. I think I might go on the airport and wait for Mr. Montigliani and Mr. Infantino and ensure that everything is in place, because this is going to be a momentous occasion for St. Lucia. Right now, I think where we are as a nation in terms of football, we're at a bit of a nexus point. We've got some exciting young players, Ron Byron and the likes, Vino Bartlett doing big things over in Jamaica, Melvin Doxley with the league leaders at the moment. Some players as well in England, in our first MLS draftee in the person of Donovan Phillips last year, Gusto. So I think we're at a point where we're ripe to explode. and I think the Concacaf Congress is going to really be the final impetus for that.
Yeah, I have to big up my constituency, Castries East, Gusto man. Nice from Castries,
but of course,
rock all people there. But Terry, to your point, I'm amped. I mean, just to zone in perspective, Vino Bartlett will be keeping against Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez.
And that's going to be a shutout, I'm just letting you know in advance.
Right? One of the players that most consider to be the greatest footballer of all time, our Vino Bartlett from Vivo, is going to be coming up against him. And we produced him here. So for me, that already gives you some scope as to where we can go with this. But with this CONCACAF Congress coming in, I think it just magnifies it. I think it just says, what more can we do? Yeah, we're hosting at an executive level. How can we now translate that at the grassroots level and produce more Vino Bartletts? I think the SPFL kicking off is going to be a good catalyst for that. And as it grows, as it matures, as it blossoms, then I think we're going to get an opportunity to see a lot more St. Lucian talent, because we have the talent. Everybody who comes down here, that's one thing that they identify, that we have the raw talent. How do we take that and nurture that and turn it into something beautiful?
Just to put that game into perspective, the Cavaliers SC going up against the Miami in the CONCACAF Club Championship. They usually play in a 5,000-seat stadium, Du Cavalier, in Jamaica. They are going to be playing in a 35,000-seat
national
stadium because they are going to be getting the likes of Messi and Suarez playing, and they're probably going to be selling that stadium out. And this is a young man who came from Viewfort, who came up through the under-15, under-17, under-19 national teams, who played in our domestic league, and who made it out, went across to Jamaica, now playing in the Jamaican Premier League. And I think we have some highlights of him. Last year, he was named in the CFU Club Championship. The CFU Club Championship, he was the most outstanding goalkeeper in that tournament. I mean, definitely we have the talent,
and steering his team to victory
and
as well.
steering his team to victory after victory. So let's have a look now at that outstanding young goalkeeper, Vino Bartlett.
This year, Allen for Garnet Gardens is collected confidently by Vino Bartlett. The Caribbean Cup. It's his third in all comps. As you get another look at this season.
Terry.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player, and of course he's won a couple of titles already in Jamaica with Cavalier SC. They're the defending champions and participating right now in the Champions Cup. They qualified twice now for the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and hoping to go a little bit further this year. But Miami, the MLS team, with one of the top players on the planet, arguably the top player on the planet, a man who steered his national team to the last World Cup title. So, it's going to be a tall order. A shutout would be nice, though. I'm just saying.
Just to bring things back in, maybe it's another conversation that we can have at some point in time. But in terms of the professionalization of sport in St. Lucia, particularly football, because we speak in football now, and I don't think a lot of people realize that this is a budding industry. It's not just about players getting compensated. It's not just about vendors being able to vend at particular venues, but there's a need for accountants at the various clubs, because that's the direction that we're going in. Physiotherapists, and the likes nutritionists, right? It's a budding industry
and of course
that we're
coaches.
developing here.
And then when you look at the trainers program, you are laying the groundwork for being able to develop more local coaches who are able to not only ply their trade here, but also be able to go out there and coach wherever they want to in CONCACAF in the world.
Yeah, and that's what the licensing affords you. The same way we are able to export a Vino Bartlett, we can export a coach. I mean, we see what Zane Pierre is doing. He's been a professional footballer himself, just recently named as Coach of the Year, and we can see what he's doing with that Leclerc outfit. They may not be able to hold on to him for too much longer.
Well, I'm sure if a Jamaican or American or European team comes calling, he might have to say goodbye to Leclerc. But yeah, I mean,
he may take a couple players with him.
That would be lovely. Yeah. And that really is where I think we need to start going, start looking at what the horizons are. The CONCACAF Congress is going to be, I think, really a fantastic platform for us to see, as the President said, what is possible. Once we're able to host something of that magnitude in football and get all of these people to come out and see our facilities, get these people to come and see our players, get these people to come and see what it is that St. Lucia really has to offer, I think that we are really positioning ourselves much differently, and we are positioning ourselves at a much higher level than was previously the case. Yeah,
well, let me just say welcome to our sunny shores of St. Lucia, to all of the 250 plus delegates. It's not just about the discussion on football, it's not just about seeing our facilities. Come and enjoy St. Lucia. The Grosile Street Party is there. We have our drive-in volcano, the Sulphur Springs. You must muddy up yourself. It's a must.
And you can pass by the Grosile, by the Sulphur Stadium on the way.
Yeah.
So you pass it through the Sulphur Stadium, you head up to the Sulphur Springs, you'll see the Pitos.
Yeah.
You said.
You can have a Pito too.
And you can have two Pitos under the Pito.
Under the Pito.
You don't have one P-Light.
Yeah,
you have to have two.
Well, also enjoy us. Enjoy our culture, enjoy our people. And of course, we look forward to seeing more delegates come to St. Lucia and enjoy sunny St. Lucia.
Yeah. So it's the stage is set. We're ready to roll. Everything is in place. The CONCACAF Congress coming up, 40th CONCACAF Congress 2025, right here in St. Lucia, March 15. We're looking forward to it, and we welcome all of our delegates to come and enjoy the country, enjoy the Congress, and of course we ask St. Lucians to extend a very hearty welcome to all of our CONCACAF delegates. I'm Terry Finister.
And I'm Elijah Williams.
Thanks
Thank you very much for joining us.